Hello and welcome. Today, we are going to tackle one of the biggest headaches in the cloud world, just trying to get a handle on your spending. We're going to lay out a clear step-by-step roadmap for adopting FinOps, so you can turn that totally confusing cloud bill into a real strategic advantage for your business. So let's start with a problem that I'm betting feels pretty familiar to a lot of you, that constant struggle to tame what feels like runaway cloud costs. The goal here is simple. We want to transform that chaos into crystal clear understanding. So let me just ask you this. Does your monthly cloud bill feel like a total black box? It's just a number that keeps creeping up and you have no idea how it connects to the actual value your teams are creating. It's a super common feeling, and honestly, it's a huge loss of control. And look, if you are just nodding your head, you are definitely not alone. When your cloud spend is all over the place, it makes it impossible to see the real value you're getting from more investments. And maybe even worse, it creates all of this friction between your engineering, finance, and leadership teams. This is exactly where FinOps comes into play. And it's so important to get this. FinOps is not a tool you buy. It's a cultural practice. It's all about getting your engineers, your finance folks, and your tech leadership to actually talk to each other, to collaborate and use real data to make spending decisions. The whole point is to squeeze every last drop of business value out of the cloud. So how do you actually get there? Well, it's not like flipping a switch. It's a journey. And this roadmap breaks that journey down into 4 really clear stages. First, you research. Then you propose. Then you prepare. And finally, you launch. Let's walk through each one of these. All right, first up, stage 1, map the terrain. And the subtitle here really says it all. You just can't fix what you can't see. This whole stage is about getting a firm, honest grasp on your current reality. Think of this stage as being a detective. You're putting on your investigator hat and you're gathering all the clues. You need to get all that cost and usage data. You need to look at how things are tagged or not tagged. This isn't just about collecting numbers. You're building the case file, the evidence you're going to need to convince everyone that a change is needed. So once you've got all your data, you're ready for stage 2, win your allies. This is where you take all that evidence you just collected and you use it to build a rock-solid business case. A story that gets the key people in your organization excited and on board. And here's pretty much how you tell that story. On the left, you lay out all the pain of today, the rising bills, the total lack of visibility. And on the right, you paint this beautiful picture of the future. Predictable costs, happy teams, clear ROI. And that roadmap in the middle, that's the bridge. That's how you show them you can get from here to there. But here's the trick. A one-size-fits-all pitch just won't work. You have to tailor it. When you talk to your CFO, you're going to talk about budget predictability and return on investment. But when you talk to your lead engineer, you're going to talk about giving them the data they need to build more efficient services and innovate faster. It's all about speaking their language. Okay, once you've got that buy-in, you hit stage 3, build your team. This is where the plan stops being just a slide deck and starts becoming a real operational thing. You're basically getting everything ready for a successful launch. You can think of this stage as building the engine of your FinOps practice. You're defining the roles, the gears and the pistons. You're creating the processes and the feedback loops that are going to make it all run smoothly. You're getting everything assembled before you even think about turning the key. Now, listen up, because this is probably the single most important piece of advice in this entire process. Do not try to boil the ocean. You can't do everything at once. The absolute key to getting momentum is to pick the things that will deliver the biggest wins the fastest. So, where should you focus first? Think of it like a pyramid. At the very bottom, you have the foundation, getting your data clean, allocating it, and reporting on it. You can't forecast what you can't see, and you can't optimize what you can't forecast. You start at the bottom so you can deliver those quick wins at the top, like spotting and shutting down resources nobody's using. And that brings us to the exciting part. Stage 4, launch and learn. This is where the plan becomes reality. You officially kick off your FinOps practice and you start delivering that value you promised everyone. Now, a launch isn't just one big event. It's the start of a whole new rhythm for the company. Yeah, you'll roll out new reports and start new meetings, but the real key is to execute, and this is important, celebrate those quick wins. That's what builds momentum and trust, which you'll need to make this whole thing stick. And all the while, you're gathering feedback and making things better. This quote right here is really the core philosophy. Your goal isn't to be perfect on day 1. It's to make impactful progress. Focus on delivering value that people can see and feel right away, and that will earn you the right to expand this practice later on. And finally, let's talk about a really crucial shift in mindset. Kicking off your FinOps practice isn't the finish line, not even close. It's actually the starting line of a continuous journey. Because FinOps is not a one-and-done project, it's a continuous cycle of improvement. The cloud is always changing, right? Your business is always evolving. So your FinOps practice has to evolve right along with it. It's all about constant improvement and adaptation. At the end of the day, your cloud is one of the most powerful engines for innovation your company has. This roadmap, this gives you the keys to that engine. So the only question left is, are you ready to get behind the wheel?